Okay.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kylie and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about seatbelt safety. On November 24, 2004, a Tennessee courtroom was waiting the fate of a traffic collision. This wasn't your average fender bender. A 20-year-old mother was convicted for negligent homicide. The victim, her 2-year-old son, whom she had neglected to properly secure in the vehicle. The use of seatbelts has been the most effective lifesaver in a vehicle collision, but the inappropriate use of seatbelts has been proven to be the biggest risk factor for death and or injuries that are caused by road crashes. Failure to use the seatbelt is a major contributor to car collision fatalities, but there's more to it than actually snapping the seatbelt in place. In order for it to be effective, a seatbelt must be used correctly. These alone can reduce the risk for seatbelt deaths by 61%. According to the Worldwide Report on Traffic Injury Prevention, seatbelt usage is substantially lower in fatal crashes than in normal traffic. They are also most effective in rollover crashes in front of collisions and lower in speed crashes. Also, young male drivers use their seatbelts less often than any other group and are also most likely to be involved in car crashes. When it comes to child restraint use, countries vary greatly and is mainly confined to high-income countries. The use of booster seats and child seats can reduce deaths in car crashes by 71% if the seats are properly buckled in. Depending on the age and weight of a child seats must be placed a certain way in the vehicle. Rear-facing seats are effective for younger infants, forward-facing seats for younger children, and booster seats with seatbelts for the older children. Never place a child with a rear-facing seat in the front seat because the airbag presents a potential hazard. There is a substantial amount of incorrect use of seatbelts by adults, and the same goes for how adults secure child restraints, leading to either critical injuries or worse, deaths. Car accidents affect every part of your body, inside and out. The most common parts are the neck, back, and head. Effects of internal injuries include valves, kidneys, the spleens, liver, lungs, etc. TBI, or traumatic brain injury, is an extremely dangerous condition which can result from a car accident. The name says it all. It traumatizes the brain and may lead to a permanent disorder of the brain's usage. Associated with this are concussions, seizures, headaches, dizziness, lack of concentration, memory loss, depression, and even anxiety. Neck injuries include whiplash and disc injuries. Whiplash is an injury to the soft tissues of the nerves, ligaments, and muscles. It can limit a lot of what you do in your daily life and can be a permanent condition. TMJ is an injury to the joint and ligaments that allow the jaw to move. It can affect chewing, eating, and even your speech. We have many intervertebral discs that make up our spine. They lie between each bone, giving the spine flexibility. In a car crash, they can bulge, slip, or rupture. Sometimes people don't even know that they have an injured disc until months later. This could require a surgery or many surgeries. Internal organs are usually punctured by broken bones resulting from a car accident. Torn spleens can land you in the hospital for an extensive amount of time. The spleen is a blood purifier and a storage house for it. When I was 16 years old, I remember one of my friends from Drake called and told me about the dance he was going to and wanted me to be his date. Fortunately, I wasn't able to go. Later that night, my friend, including 4 other passengers, were in a deadly car accident involving a drunk driver. 3 of the passengers were rushed to the hospital in critical care. The other 2 instantly killed, and sadly, my friend was one of those 2. All they had to do was buckle up, and maybe their lives would have been saved. Each one of us is affected by seatbelt usage one way or another. Each one of us knows or cares about people in our lives that we want to keep safe when they travel. An automobile accident can happen anytime, anywhere, and to anyone. You can be the safest driver in the world and still be considered fair game. As my grandma and mom always tell me, you have to drive for everybody. At one time in Idaho's history, the law regarding seatbelts did not even exist. As time went on and laws were passed, they were not sufficient enough. Today, Idaho seatbelt laws are being enforced. What are the Idaho seatbelt laws? Idaho requires everyone in the vehicle to wear safety restraints, even if it's a quick trip around the block. Adult violators 18 and older are subject to a $10 citation. An adult driver with passengers under 18 years and not restrained will be ticketed. If the driver is younger than 18 and fails to wear a safety belt, court costs will be added to the fine, making it anywhere from $50 to over $100. According to the Idaho Transportation Department, as of August 12, 2008, our seatbelt usage is declining. It has fallen more than 3% during the last 3 years. It dropped from nearly 80% in 2006 to 78.5% in 2007 and 76.9% this year. As of June this year, 68 unrestrained people have been killed in Idaho traffic crashes, and the majority were ejected from their vehicle. More revealing of Idaho's seatbelt use problem is that 65% of those killed in car crashes in 2007, or 114 people, were not wearing their seatbelts. In addition to those killed, 402 unbelted Idahoans were critically injured in 2007, and at least half of those injuries could have been prevented with a simple click of a seatbelt. This according to Idaho Transportation Department. As seatbelt usage declines, cost of licenses to all Idahoans continue to increase. In the spring of this year, Idaho joined the national effort to save lives by increasing the use of seatbelts. Idaho State Police and an estimated 60 law enforcement agencies nationwide participated in a Click It, Don't Risk It campaign to ensure that people wear their seatbelts. As of May, Idaho is one of the lowest in the country for seatbelt usage, this being 76%. 24% accounted for no seatbelt usage to all in the 60% of deaths last year. One of the main instigators for the Idaho campaign lost his own teenage son in an unbuckled traffic crash a few months before. In conclusion, the figures are familiar. 40,000 people in the U.S. die each year in unseatbelted car accidents. If you know this and you still don't wear your seatbelts, you might ask yourself, why not? Think about what you like to do more than anything in the world. Imagine life without being able to do that. Think about losing your arms or legs or their use, and then reconsider using your seatbelt and using it the right way. Some excuses I've heard are, I'm only going uptown, I won't be in a car accident, I'm a good driver. I'm afraid the belt will be too tight and trap me in the car. A seatbelt is uncomfortable. I don't need it, I've got an airbag. Recently, one of your classmates was the victim of a serious accident. He was not wearing his seatbelt, and thankfully, by some miracle, he is still with us. Don't become another fatality on our highways. Please buckle up every time you get in the vehicle.